Hello and welcome to another episode of Mike Talks About Subaru. Today we're going to take a look at the 2021 Subaru Forester Sport with option package 24. That's going to add on the Harman Kardon sound system, the reverse automatic braking, and the power tailgate. Quick look at it here. This is a crystal white pearl. All the Sports are going to come with the orange accents and the black alloy wheels. And as I mentioned with this one, it does have the power gate option. Simple as pressing a button and up it goes. Press a button and it'll close. You do have the AC vents to the rear, 2 USB charging ports, cup holder, armrest, child separator, and your seats do fold down. Basically flat, 60-40 split to open up your cargo area more. The Sport has the orange stitching throughout, as well as the orange in the dashboard. It is going to be push button start, keyless access and entry, with remote start capabilities through your cell phone, with a subscription to the Subaru Starlink package. What I'm going to do is just work left to right, give you a brief overview of what all the buttons do, and if you have any questions, feel free to leave comments at the end. So here we have your windows, door locks, and mirror adjustment. The bottom button here is window lockout, so that the rear windows are locked out. Front windows are still a go. But it does lock out passenger control. You do have auto window down, one touch up as well, or just press it lightly and it will stop when you let go. Same idea pulling it up. In front of there, lock and unlock, and then you've got your mirror adjustment. So this is a joystick. Turn it to the L for left or to the R for right, and as you move that joystick around, up and down, left and right, that's gonna move your mirror around. Looking at the dashboard, button number 1 is going to open and close your rear gate. Button number 2 will turn off the steering responsive headlights. So the car is set up with headlights that if you turn left or turn right, the headlights will pivot with your turn so that you can see into the corners. If you want to turn that feature off, you can do so right there. Height memory is for the tailgate. If you park in a garage with a very low hanging ceiling, you can program in a stopping height of the tailgate so that it doesn't open too high. The knob here is going to, or the dial is going to increase or decrease brightness of your dash lights and radio. Bottom left is traction control off. This button will eliminate the auto start stop feature that defaults every time you turn the car on. It defaults to the on position. What that is once the car is fully warmed up, as long as it's safe for it to do so, it will actually turn off when you come to a complete stop and add a stoplight, stop sign, so on and so forth. As soon as you release the brake at all, it will turn right back on. So you don't have to do anything. You don't have to press ignition or anything like that. There's nothing wrong with your car if it turns off while you're at a stoplight. It's designed to do so. This button is for the blind spot detection on and off. If you turn that off, you will see a light up on the dash showing you right there that that's been turned off. And when you turn it back on, you'll get the amber light in the mirrors indicating that it has turned back on, and then it disappears. Behind the steering wheel, you've got your headlights. Off, auto, so they turn on automatically at night. Parking lights, headlights on all the time. The car is equipped with the high beam assist, so if you leave it on auto and high beam, which is pushing forward on the wand, it will dim automatically when you have oncoming traffic, or if you're approaching tail lights, if there's street lights, anything that causes the ambient lighting to be bright enough, it will automatically dim your high beams so you don't have to. To the right hand side, we've got the wiper wand. Down one click is intermittent. The inside knob here controls the speed at which it does its wipes on the intermittent. Second click is low, third click is high. Pull the whole wand towards you to squirt the windshield. If you roll the outside backwards, it will squirt the rear window until you release it, and then wipe a couple times in the rear. This is going to be intermittent for the rear wiper. That speed on the intermittent is determined by how fast you're traveling. This is on all the time for the rear. And then you can also roll it forwards from there, and that's going to squirt the rear window until you release it. Looking at the steering wheel itself, these buttons here, they pull towards you. They're going to change what you're looking at the center display here. In between the speedometer and tachometer, it's going to give you all sorts of options. Let's see if I can zoom in on that right here. So right now we're looking at approximate distance till empty. This will show you how long the car's been running since you started it, how far you've driven since you last started it. Digital speedometer. This shows you the amount of time auto start stop has been used and how much gas it has actually saved in that time. Tire pressure for each individual tire. That will light up after about 1 mile of driving. It will indicate how much pressure is in your tires. Average miles per gallon, approximate distance still empty. Instant miles per gallon with approximate distance still empty. And digital speedometer. Going from there to the next, here we have the preset station buttons for your radio. Volume up and down. Source is going to switch between AM, FM, CD, auxiliary. Info will change what you're looking at the display up here. It gives you eco gauges, which systems you have active, angle of approach, all-wheel drive stuff, engine temperature, oil temperature, weather, and what radio station you're on. Below there, you have your command button and answer the phone, as well as the hang up the phone button. So outside of just answering your phone, using this button, you can actually give the radio commands as far as setting up or going to radio stations. When you hit the button, it'll give you a list of commands on the radio that are usable, so you can tell it different things to tune to radio stations, play certain songs. If you have your iPhone connected and you press and hold that button, it will actually connect you to Siri. And then you have the hang up the phone button. Over to the right hand side, this is where we get into the cruise control features, as well as the sport mode, intelligent mode, lane keep assist, and lane centering. So this button right here is going to turn on cruise control. With cruise control on, you can press down on the toggle switch to set your speed. Right there At the bottom of that car, it will show you what speed you have had it set to. Press up is going to be resume and accelerate. Now, if you've set that speed to 63 miles per hour, the first time you tap up to accelerate is going to go to the nearest 5 mile per hour increment, bring it to 65. From there, it would move in 5 mile per hour actual whole increments. So from 63 to 65, and then 70, 75, 80. Moving down, it would drop down to 60 from 63, and then 55, 50, so on and so forth. To the left of the toggle, you've got these buttons, the up and the down. What those are going to do here, find a better angle, is going to increase with the up button or decrease the distance between you and the car ahead of you for the adaptive cruise control. You're going to look at each line as basically 5 seconds. And then this button here is going to activate the lane centering and lane keep assist. When that is turned on, you'll see that light for it right there. What that does is, as you're driving down the road, if you are approaching a line marking, it will actually nudge the steering wheel slightly, giving you a feeling that helping you actually get back into the lane. If you have this on with cruise control on the interstate, what it can do is actually center you in between the line markings or the lane markings, and you'll feel it in the steering wheel kind of pulling a little bit as it drives you. Now, you do have to keep your hand on the wheel. You do have to be in control of the vehicle. If you don't, it will turn itself off. Not the car itself, but it turns off the lane centering. It's a safety feature to make sure that you're not trying to use the car as a self-driving car, because that it is not. And below there, we've got sport mode and intelligent mode. On the Forester Sport, it's actually Sport Sharp. It is just a sharper, more productive, sportier feeling. More acceleration, a little zippier going down the road. The intelligent mode is what defaults to every time you start the car. It's the normal driving experience that you get from the Forester on any of the trim levels. You'll know what you're in on the dash here. It'll show you when you change that. It's called the SI drive. You'll see right up top, and down by the bottom when it shows you what gear you're in, you can notice that changing there as well to know what position you have that in. Behind the steering wheel, you do have the paddles, downshift and upshift. So straight back is drive. Over to the left puts you in a manual mode where you can shift through your gears of the CVT. They're a virtual gear. Kind of gives you that feeling of a manual transmission. A little more control of the car and that type of stuff. Moving over to the radio, you've got the phone button here, which is what you'll go into to set up your phone for Bluetooth connectivity. Right now we're not going to, but that's where it would be. The home button up here or right here brings you right to your home screen. Subaru Starlink, that's a program you can download onto your cell phone that connects you to the outside world, gets you a few things, Yelp reviews, your Magellan navigation. You can also use Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, which is standard on all of these now. Settings, car settings, sound settings for your graphics equalizer, phone settings where you can add in multiple devices, and then vehicle settings where you can set date and time settings, interior light, auto door lock features, how long the defogger stays on, whether or not you have one touch lane change turned on. Those type of settings would be found under there. Apps is going to bring us to the My Subaru, which is going to be subscription based. Gets you concierge services, service appointment set up, and a roadside assistance is what you'll find in there. That same roadside that you get when you hit the blue I button up top. The SOS button you'll see right there is for emergency response. Pandora, if you have it on your cell phone, you can connect it here and it will play the music from your Pandora on your phone, connecting you to it on the radio. Travel Link hooks you up. It uses the SiriusXM subscription to show you local gas stations, sports updates, stock updates, weather updates. Here you can actually program in the location you want it to show. So if you're local to Maine, you can come in here, you can choose Maine in an area that's closest to you. If you're not near New York, you come in, you can hit the settings button here, delete it out of there, and then while you're actually in there, you'll actually select Bangor and it's now gonna change it right to that. Fuel prices, same thing. You go in there, you change the location, same way we just did for the weather location. Media is where you're gonna go if you want to play music from your Bluetooth, from the CD player. If you have something plugged into USB or the auxiliary port, which is located right underneath the radio, and climate control. And then of course radio brings you to your radio screen. You have FM, AM, Sirius XM. And to program in a station, it's just a matter of pressing and holding where you want it programmed to. As I mentioned earlier, it does have Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. If you plug your phone into the USB port, as long as it's a phone that supports one of those two features, you'll be able to run your navigation from your phone right onto your radio screen. It will support Pandora, Spotify, a lot of other music apps as well if you have them installed on your phone. And then that's basically everything for the radio, aside from volume, which is here, and your tuner button, which is right there. Climate control is very straightforward. What you have is going to be the first knob here, adjust the temperature that you have it set to, and you'll see that right up in the center display below the windshield as that changes. The second knob changes the fan speed, and again you can see that changing up there. And the third knob is going to be the position of where that blows to. What you'll notice as I go through there is it never actually goes to defrost. You go from foot into frost to just face, or just foot. While you're down here, you press the top button of the far right knob, and that will put it to full front defrost. The bottom one is going to turn on rear defrost, your heated mirrors, and your wiper de-icer. The middle button here turns on the air recirculator. You've got maximum AC right here, AC on and off, with this on and off for the whole climate control, and automatic climate control where it will select where it's going to blow and the fan speed it's going to blow at to keep the car the temperature you have it set to. While we're on the climate control, over on the driver's side, if that's to the left, that closes that vent. Passenger side, same idea. To the left is closed, to the right opens that vent up. And then for the center, if you push all the way down, that closes that center vent. Same thing for the other. Your hazard lights are going to be right here, your four-way flashers. Moving down on the console, we've got your parking brake. To engage that, it's as simple as pulling up on it. It's electronic. You can actually hear it engaging and disengaging. If you need to turn it off, or when you need to turn it off, it's a matter of having the car in the on position. Your foot does have to be on the brake, and you just push down on it. Behind the parking brake, you'll see AVH. That is auto vehicle hold. When you turn that on, you're going to get a little green light in the upper right hand corner by the speedometer. What that does is, if you come to a complete stop and you have that active, it turns on an electronic brake. It will actually hold the brakes electronically for you until you either press the gas pedal or tap on the brake pedal again, and then it automatically releases. You'll know that it's actually doing it if you have the AVH on, that little green light up there, and then the second part, that little guy right there, that lights up right underneath where it says AVH up there. You'll know that it's actually holding the brake. And as I said, if you tap the brake, you touch the gas pedal, that is going to turn right off until you stop again. And then here in the center, we've got X mode. With the Sport package, it's similar to our Limited. It has a dual X mode. The dual, what it is, if you turn it to the left, that's going to put us in a snow and dirt mode. You'll see that in the heads-up display there. You'll also see it in the center display here. To the right, that puts us in a deep snow or mud mode. Push down on it, puts you right back into regular driving mode. What X mode is it's a more aggressive, more dynamic all-wheel drive for slow going, real sticky situations, heavy snow, heavy mud, anything 18 miles per hour or less is what it's good for. It also turns on the hill descent assist, which actually basically keeps your car going at your approach speed down a hill. So if you come up to the hill at 5 miles per hour and you're coasting, and you want to coast down at 5 miles per hour, and you don't want to have to control the brake because you're afraid of sliding and skidding, you turn the X mode on and it will take your approach speed and it's going to hold that speed going down the hill, so you can be in control of the steering wheel. Outside of that, we've got a couple buttons up here. This one's going to turn on and off your lane sway warning. This one's going to turn on and off your pre-collision braking. Both are press and hold for 3 seconds to turn them off. Same idea to turn them back on. The pre-collision braking defaults to on every time the car is started. The center one is going to open and close the panoramic moonroof up here. It's just a matter of pressing it. It opens up. Pressing in the opposite direction is going to close it. You can also slide the shade by hand. Map lights, press them, turn them on and off. Your visors, you do have the vanity mirrors with light. They pop right over, swing around, and then they do widen as well. You got your dash glove box here. Open her up. You'll find your owner's manual. And then your center armrest opens up as well for the little cubby hole. And that's really everything I can think of on this right now, except for eyesight, which is standard on all of them now. All of our automatic transmissions, you'll find it on these cameras up above. Obviously, I've talked about eyesight in a lot of my previous videos. It's forward collision prevention, adaptive cruise control, lane sway warning, lane keep assist. Basically, it's going to be the safety technology to keep you safer in your new car. It's a great thing. It's been out since 2008 by Subaru, 2013 here in the States. I'm happy to answer any questions anybody has on it. Just comment in the comments below. Thank you, and have a wonderful day.